available, they have to use that. It goes for all the inputs. 55% of our agriculture is rain dependent. Right. Even though we have the largest irrigated land in the world, and there is, but they have no idea as to when it is going to rain. We have meteorological department that collects data in the disaggregated form, but they send out the data on radio in the aggregated form. They don't tell you that in this, on your farm, what is going to happen. They can tell you by district or by something like that, but that's no good to you. Right? Their data is no good to you. You can't access the market. There are markets created by government. These are called mandis. The APMC, Agriculture Produce Marketing Committees, run it. It's a terrific idea that government tries to create government-run mandis where there could be price discovery. You could take your produce and go there, and there would be people who would sort of bid for your produce, and then you would discover the price. But over a period of time, these mandis became unionized, and the market participants began to harass you. So, and the farmer, when he wants to go to the mandi, he has to pack his produce, take it all the way. Transport costs and packaging costs are sunk in. Then he lands there, and then he is at the mercy of those market participants who cheat him on weighment, who cheat him on specification, and after he's sold, they take long time to give the money to him. And he has to stay away from his farm for many days. So, with all these kinds of problems, he finds it is easier to sell it to the middleman, right? To sell it cheaply to the middleman, get rid of all these hassles, and begin to work at the farm again for the next crop. And the middleman takes all the market surplus. As a consequence, the share of consumer price that the farmer gets is a fraction. He doesn't get his legitimate share of the consumer spend. So he is really at the receiving end of the tyranny of the middleman. Now, what is the challenge? The challenge is, therefore, to create access for the poor so that they can exercise choice. And there is a lot of debate in India. When the modern retailing comes to India, people have written papers, how the farmer will benefit. And I will tell you in a little while what my view is. And but we have to create conditions for the farmer at his doorstep. He should be able to have a market where there is competing sellers of inputs into his farms, competing sellers of seed, competing sellers of manure and pesticides and insecticides, so that he can make a choice. But today he has no such market. And when he goes to sell, there should be competing players because he has a better specification. There should be competing attention he should get when he has to buy, so that he can exercise a choice. Not you lady, not you gentleman, but yes, this gentleman I am going to sell to because he has really valued the specification of my produce. So it is really not there for him. And we have to make it attractive for the suppliers of inputs and services to be able to sell that deep into the Indian villages and to make it saleable at a profit, so that reduce the cost of delivery. So how do we get the transaction costs down for this fragmented and dispersed set of disadvantaged market with low incomes, and get the buyers and sellers to place their wares at the doorstep of the weaker sections of our society? That is the challenge. And that is my way of saying, how do we co-create this market? I borrow these words, but how do we co-create our rural markets so that we can really create an opportunity where the bottom of the pyramid is actually golden, right? And it is not dust there. So what has ITC done? I just want to give you an example. Now you've got a background of what are the kinds of challenges, the kinds of constraints, the kind of the lay of the land, or what is the topography of this bottom of the pyramid that we all talk about. And you know where the fortune is lying. It is lying in dust of gold mixed with tons of lots of soil. So exploring it and getting that gold out is going to require a huge amount of effort and innovation. Now I was told by Ajit when we came in that you already had a panel that discussed e-Chopal. I want to ask you, how much do you know about e-Chopal as to how it functions really? And what does it do? How does it create value? Should I repeat this or should I just go over it quickly to give you my insights into what it does? Go ahead and do that, right? Now, what we did is, because connectivity, basically for entrepreneurial activity to flourish and for people to flourish and to get them to create livelihoods, what you first require is connectivity. And so what we did was, we created connectivity. We didn't have the money to create roads. We didn't have the money to create water bodies or provide electricity. So what did we do? We created connectivity. Of course, there were a number of challenges, and we created this it's the world's largest digital infrastructure that serves rural population. And we created a human organization, because we all know that a computer means somebody who should know. And it is more an individual item, that you have a desktop, then one individual works at it. So we created conditions whereby we have a lead farmer whom we could train, and then that lead farmer should be the one who should become an intermediary for transfer of information and knowledge. So we created a connectivity for the purposes of flow of information and knowledge, and thereby empowered the farmer and built a human organization to be able to create this delivery in a customized manner. So we created extension services, all given free to the farmer, and this is customized to the local conditions of agroclimatic zones, the kind of crop that the farmer is going to grow, and what it takes, what he should or should not do, what kind of soil testing he should do, and determine what are the nutrients that need to be placed back in the soil. We created an infrastructure at the back of the house of a number of agricultural and agricultural scientists working with us, so that if the farmer had any question, and this was each of these kiosks with a lead farmer managing this was in walkable distance. So we could serve about 6 villages with one each of our one kiosk. We would provide the disaggregated from meteorological department, the way they collect information, the same information was provided to the people in the disaggregated format. Now, we could give that information to him. We gave price discovery even without him moving on to the mandi. He doesn't have to go and walk some miles and then go to the market and discover. Not only this, in the command area of his farm, every mandi's price for his produce would be available on the screen. So he doesn't have to run everywhere. And we assured him that we could buy his produce at the farm gate. You get your price discovery. Not only here, we also tell you what is happening in Chicago Board of Trade, in Seaboard, and the trend. So the trend is looking up. If you don't want to sell, you want to sell later on, you could do that. So you have been empowered with information, and then you can determine whether you want to enter into a transaction with us. And that is the way, we created the facilitation and we empowered the small and marginal farmers. Empowered with this knowledge, And we also had about 65 other